In this video, we're talking about the importance of speaking powerfully to yourself. Hey, guys, Justin Suey here, and before we get into this week's episode, please hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you join our community, and hit the bell so you know when the next video is coming out. I want you to think about the last time you had a debate with someone. And I'm not talking about these serious, deep debates about politics or religion or other things. I'm talking about those meaningless, dumb debates that we have sometimes. Which restaurant is better? Which basketball team is better? Which kind of temperature is better, hot or cold? You know, those debates that you get in when you're done, you're thinking to yourself, why did I just engage in that debate? Now, chances are when you get into those kind of debates, you want to win. You want to prove your point. You're Googling statistics and you're looking for articles to support your ideas. Now, I want you to think about the strategies and the tactics that you use to win those kind of debates. Even though it's meaningless, in that moment, you want to win. I want to win. I'm with you on that. Now, think about the tactics you use. Chances are you're listening closely, not to truly understand what they're saying, but so you can poke holes in the reasoning. Some of you completely ignore the other person. You're not even listening to them. You're more focused on what you're saying. Some of you turn up the volume on what you're saying. You try to shout over the person in hopes that the strength and the volume of your words will overpower them. Sometimes you just don't say anything. You listen and you'll make fun of them in something completely unrelated, whatever it takes to win the debate. And then when the debate's over, they think they won, you think that you won, and you go on your merry way. Now, what's interesting is we will take time to debate other people. We will disagree with them, even if they're proving us wrong with facts. We will do everything we can to win this debate. Now, what's interesting about that is we're willing to debate other people with trivial nonsense, but we're not willing to debate ourselves when we start to think negatively. When these negative thoughts start to pop into your mind, we look at it and we say, oftentimes we think, you know what? I am bad at this. You know what? My mind is right. I'm not gonna win. I'm not confident. I'm not prepared for this. Who am I to be successful? Yeah, that other person's better than me. We'll take these thoughts and we'll accept them, as opposed to debating them like we do so well in other circumstances. Today, my invitation to you is to learn how to debate your negative thoughts. You don't have to believe your negative thoughts. They're just thoughts, like clouds in the sky that come and go. You can notice them and allow them to go, or you can debate them. Now, you may be wondering, how do I debate these thoughts? The exact same way you debate your friends. You debate your family members, your coworkers, your teammates on these other topics that we talked of. You can listen closely and poke holes into it. You can listen to the doubts. You can listen and listen closely, and then you can provide evidence against it. Your thought might say to you, you don't feel good today. And you can listen to it and say, you know what? There have been moments where I didn't feel good in the past and I still succeeded. Oh, you're not prepared today. Actually, you know what? I am prepared today. I spent hours studying, or I spent hours preparing for this presentation, or I go to my coach, or I put in hours in the gym, whatever it may be, providing evidence against it. You can learn how to keep things in perspective. Your thought might say, oh, you lost today. That means you're always gonna lose. You can listen to that and say, you know what? No, that doesn't mean I'm always going to lose. I'm gonna put things in perspective. I can have next week, or the week after, or next year. You can put things in perspective, zoom out and take the big picture view of things. You can also look at things more optimistically. Maybe you had a tough loss. Maybe things aren't going your way. You can pull out the lesson from it and say, okay, what am I learning from this? How can this make me stronger? You don't have to believe your negative thoughts. You can pause and look at it and debate it back. Once again, and I've given this example before for those of you who have listened to my podcast or followed me before. I want you to imagine having this cup. It may have been in a previous video, but imagine having a cup. And let's say this cup holds 100 ounces of water, just to keep it simple. And let's say you pour 120 ounces of water into this 100 ounce cup. 120 ounces. I'm gonna ask you 3 dumb questions. Dumb question number 1 is, how much water is gonna be in the cup if I pour 120 ounces into this 100 ounce cup? The answer is 100 ounces. Dumb question number 2 is, why only 100 ounces? I poured 120 in there. You're gonna say, because that's all it holds, it's only 100 ounces. And then dumb question number 3 I'm gonna ask is, then where's the rest of the water? And you're gonna say, it's all over my lap, or it's on the floor and spilled over. This cup represents your mind. There's limited capacity in your thoughts, in your working memory. There's only so much that can fit inside of there. Now, if you fill your mind with negativity, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for the positive thoughts to come in, for the productive thoughts to come in, for the effective thoughts to come in. Not because they don't exist, but because there's no room. But if you train yourself to think more positively, more optimistically, more effectively, more productively, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for the negative thoughts to come in. Why? Not because it doesn't exist, but because there's no room. So as you train yourself to think on purpose with purpose. Now, I do also want to say something as well. I once had an athlete come up to me and he told me he hates the phrase positive thinking. I said, why is that? He goes, because when I think positive thinking, I think sunshine and rainbows, and peak performance isn't always positive. Life isn't always positive. It's very hard. I said, you know what? That's a great point. You don't have to say the word positive thinking. It's all about how you label it. What about productive thinking? What about effective thinking? And he said, I like that. I am gonna think more effectively or more productively. He just, for some reason, he does not like the word positive, and that's okay. You can change it to whatever language you want. Some people call it neutral thinking, or some people, whatever you want to call it. However you label it, you just want it to label it in a way that helps you view things objectively and view things optimally. To be able to embrace the facts, say, okay, this might be my situation, but what am I gonna do about it? I might not be good at this thing yet. I might be struggling right now, but I'm gonna work really hard. It's finishing the sentence. It's putting a comma where everyone puts a period. And here's what I mean by that. I just gave you that example. I'm terrible at this. A lot of people end it there. They put a period and they go on, I'm terrible, I'm terrible. Or you can say, I'm terrible at this, comma, but I'm gonna work really hard to get better at it. You just completely changed that sentence. I lost today and I'm bad, period. Yep, that's how you're gonna go along, thinking that you're terrible at something, you're bad, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm terrible today and lost, comma, but I'm gonna take my lessons and I'm gonna come back stronger. It's learning how to, once again, debate your negative thoughts. So as you go throughout this week, my invitation to you is to train yourself to debate your negative thoughts. But in order to do that, you need to pay attention to your thoughts. You need to notice when you're starting to spiral down into negative thinking. Notice it and then change the language. Put a comma where there's a period. Add yet, add but. Look at it more optimistically. Change your perspective. Zoom out, zoom in. Whatever you need to do to win that debate with your mind. It reminds me of the old Cherokee story. It's very popular. You've heard this before. Where an old Cherokee grandfather says to his grandson, every day in your mind there's a battle of 2 wolves. One wolf is negative. It is angry, it complains, it doubts. And the other wolf is good, it's positive, it's optimistic, it's always seeking the best version of yourself. And every single day these 2 wolves battle in your mind. And the young grandson looks at the old grandfather and he says, which one wins? And the wise old Cherokee says, the one you feed. And it's a powerful concept. Keep feeding the good wolf. Keep feeding the productive. Keep feeding the positive. Keep feeding that wolf, because the thing you feed grows and the thing you starve dies. You can starve those negative thoughts. You don't have to fuel them. You don't have to believe them. Debate them. Work through them. You can empower yourself. You are the most important person you speak to every single day. So speak powerfully, speak purposefully, speak deliberately, and you'll see it'll change your life for the better. In the comments section, I want you to tell me what was something that really resonated with you in this video. What was a takeaway, or what's something you can teach the rest of us? I firmly believe that you have something powerful to say. You have something to add to it. Write in the comments. We want to hear it. You might be teaching somebody else. Once again, hit subscribe, hit like. Would love to have you guys join us. Let's continue to grow this channel together. And thanks for sharing these episodes with your friends and family members. Have a great week. I will do it again next week.